Welcome back. Now, in today's episode, I'm going to answer your question, how to invest money in your 50s. Now, this is not going to be difficult. It's relatively easy. And a lot of people at 50 are starting to worry, what are they going to do to take care of their retirement? So we're going to talk about how to invest money in your 50s, and this is going to be really simple. It'll be easy to do, but you'll need to kind of follow a system, and if you can do that, you're going to be okay. Now, everybody's worried about financial freedom. If you want financial freedom, Social Security is not going to be it. So you're going to need to supplement that. So many investors, they blame their lack of money on the economy. Some people blame it on the COVID. Other people blame it on the government. Some people blame their family. So let's stop blaming and let's figure out a way that you can make some money. This business has been around for 200 years. The idea is you want to pull yourself or pull the system into what you already know so that you can make a future for yourself. All right. Now, the future requires self-improvement. So you've got to get better in your brain so that you know how to do this kind of stuff. If you make you better, then your whole life is going to be better. So this is going to definitely take a little bit of time and a little bit of effort. It's not too late to learn how to make small investments where you could get paid for 10 and 20 years on making one investment. All right, now real estate's been around for a long time, and you can do it in many different ways, and I'm going to cover a way that I've done for the past 30 years. If you can keep your expenses under control and you're willing to do installment sales, I'll show you how you can make some money and keep making it and only have to work once. For example, you could buy small houses at tax defaulted auctions, and you could sell them using an installment sale. Now, that's not difficult to do, and I'm going to go over it with you now. All right, now the math I'll do on the video when I finish, but if you just get the concept right now, you'll see this is a system that's been around for hundreds of years. Anybody can do it. If you're concerned about the future, this is the way you can make some money for your retirement and not have to worry after you're 51 or 52 years old. I'm going to show you what to do and how do you do it. This requires small contributions of your time, and you can make some big checks doing it. You want to make a good living, you want to learn how to do this. We teach people how to buy at tax defaulted sales, where they buy for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar, and then they sell for something less than the retail, and they sell it quickly, and they might sell it to someone that does have some bad credit experience and doesn't have a good FICO score. And when they do that, they make high interest, but they make steady payments because those people can't rent from anybody else and the bank won't lend them any money. So it's not a time at 50 years old to be thinking about speculating. What you need to know is you need to know how to make money in a systematic way. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And this is an investment that you can grow and grow and grow. Now, it's not going to be a marathon of 26 miles, but it is going to be a marathon. It's not going to be quick. It's going to take you a little time to buy, learn how to sell, and learn how to sell using installment sales. All right, now this process is not difficult to do, but once you learn how to do it, you can do it again and again. There's over 3,000 counties and over 5,000 auctions every year. You don't have to buy the house in the country club. You can buy the smaller houses and then sell them to people that need a shelter and they're willing to pay payments. All right, now the students have practiced this. Many of them buy one, then they rinse and repeat, and they buy another one, then they buy another one, so that they get income from 2 or 3 of these properties, and they only make small investments. Now, I'll go through the math later on in this particular video, so hang in there for a little bit. All right, now, ordinary people are the ones that buy at tax defaulted auctions. They buy for pennies on the dollar. Now, what you're trying to do is you're trying to buy decent quality houses, and you're trying to get them for 5, 10, 20 cents on the dollar. You don't want to spend 90 cents on the dollar because you won't be able to make any money. All right, so what I'm talking about is getting properties at 60, 70, even 80% discounts, and you're actually buying from the treasurer. Now, when you do that, you now are in a position where you own the property at the right price, and you can sell it, and rather than the person go to the bank, you could sell it and use seller financing. Think about that. You could sell it yourself, get a title company to help you do that. If you have a broker sell it, the broker's going to try to go to a bank. The banks don't like to finance properties under $100,000. Yes, some of the banks will do that, but they don't want to do that because their loan rates are so low at 3%, they can't make any money. So you can do their seller financing and get 10%. That's going to make a huge difference. All right, now anybody can go to the auction. Anybody can attend. Anybody can bid. It's a public auction. The highest bidder wins. Now, you don't want to be the highest bidder. Okay, let someone else win. Don't be the highest bidder. You want to buy it low so that you can sell it low. Okay, the whole idea here is let's buy them right so that we can sell them right. Okay, you don't want to be holding on to these properties. You want to buy them and then quickly resell them. Now, why is the county even selling these properties? The county has the property because someone didn't pay their taxes. So they confiscated it and now they're going to resell it. The county doesn't want it. Okay, when the county takes the property, they wipe out the mortgage. They cancel the mortgage. So you're buying a property with no mortgage and hopefully you're getting a 60, 70, 80% discount. Now, you don't have to give that much discount when you sell it, but you could sell it with a 25 or 30% discount and installment sales, and the whole thing would go by pretty darn quickly. So the whole idea here is you want to buy it low and you want to sell it low. In other words, a $50,000 property, sell it for $35,000. So you bought it low, you might have bought it for $5,000 or $10,000. What you want to do is you want to sell it and collect payments. Those payments are going to be able to take care of you for the next 5, 10, 15, or even 20 years while those people pay their price. In other words, you're going to be the banker. What's wrong with that? All right, now people approaching 50 are worried. And they're worried about what they're going to do to take care of themselves, and Social Security is not going to pay you enough. So you're looking for properties at auction that are slightly used and slightly abused that you can resell back into the market, not at the list price or 100% of value, but sell it for 75% of value and be able to collect checks on that property. Now, who's going to buy your property? Well, people that have been rejected by the bank. Why are they rejected? Because they have poor FICO scores. In other words, they got a divorce, or maybe they had a foreclosure, maybe there was a bankruptcy, or maybe they had some kids that were sick, they couldn't pay for their house payment, so they paid the doctor. You're getting the idea. So these are people that are not necessarily bad people, but I think we all agree, sometimes good people have bad things happen. All right, these people will pay you, and so you could sell on a contract of sale. I said a contract of sale, not a mortgage and not a deed of trust. You're going to use a contract of sale. Why? So that you can hold on to the security. The security for this, the security you have is the title. You do not want to give up the title. All right, so good people have some bad problems, but what they want to do is they want to get started. So they're going to make a choice whether they're going to go out to the bank and try and get a loan, which they're going to get rejected. The bank is going to say, no, you've got a low FICO score. You don't have to say no, but you don't have to give them the title either. You could give them a contract and let them pay you monthly. Well, what if they paid you monthly? Now you got money coming in into your 60s and your 70s. All right, so if these people got a good paying job and they're willing to pay you, don't reject them. There's a lot of properties out there that can be purchased, and they can be purchased at the right price at tax defaulted auctions. Why the right price? Because the county doesn't want those properties. All right, now, those people can't get financing if they got bad FICO score. So there's about 20% of the market that if you put signs on the front lawn saying installment sale, you advertise on Craigslist, you also do it on the MLS system, you use all electronic sites. If you advertise there that you'll accept an installment sale and take monthly payments, believe me, they want to talk to you right now because the bank is going to reject them. So there's over 3,000 counties and over 5,000 auctions. So think about that. There's plenty of this business out there. Now, what really took place? What took place is the county confiscated. They seized properties. They seized the property from the people that didn't pay. So what is the tax collector going to do with that property? The tax collector doesn't want it. They do not want the property. Why? They got enough parks and school buildings and administration. They don't want it. So they're going to sell it at a low price. Now, I say low price, they'll sell it at the back taxes, 10, 20, 30 cents on the dollar. And when they sell it, there's no mortgage. You see, the legislature passed the law, and the law says the treasurer can wipe out a mortgage or a deed of trust at the tax auction. So now you're going to buy a property that has no mortgage and no deed of trust, and you can do whatever you want. So what if you could get it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar? Would that make a difference? Yes. Do you have to sell it with a mortgage? No. Do you have to sell it with a deed of trust? No. You could sell it with a contract. Think about that. So let's follow along my example here for a second. All right. So what you're going to do is you're going to try this buy low, sell low strategy. So let's use an example. Let's say the property had a value of $50,000. and you could buy it for $5,000. Well, you just bought a property for 10 cents on the dollar. All right, now you want to sell it. So you want to sell it quickly. Well, you might be able to sell it quickly at $50,000, but it would be a lot quicker if you could sell it at less than that. So why not advertise the property, put it on Craigslist, put it on the MLS system, put it on eBay, put it on Zillow, and say tax value $50,000, must sell for $35,000. Is that going to make a difference? Yes. Who's going to answer your advertisement? I can tell you right now. If you're offering a low down payment and monthly payments on that property, there's going to be a lot of people want that property. Why? Because they want a low down payment and they want low payments. You don't mind the low payments because they're going to pay you over a period of time. So you could get $300 a month for 10 years. What would that do to your income? What if you did a few deals like that? So the owner can sell anything that they own. Okay, so if you accept a down payment and you'll accept payments, now at the end of the year you'll make another $3,600. Not a lot, but what happens after 10 years? You make $36,000, and guess what? You get your down payment back. So now you get $41,000 and you only invested $5,000. If that isn't a good deal, what is a good deal? All right, now my name is Ted Thomas. I'm going to finish up here in this next minute, but right below me is a free gift for you. Okay, now I have some concerns. Don't buy a property at an auction. It's the biggest mistake people make unless you've seen the property. Don't buy what you haven't seen. There might have been a hurricane. There might have been a windstorm. There might have been a fire. There could be all kinds of things going on. Second big mistake, be very cautious about how you bid. Don't bid on properties unless you know what you can sell them for. Why? Because if you bid too high and you don't have a good exit strategy, you're going to end up with a property that you don't want. I'm Ted Thomas. Right below me is a free gift.